Well, hello, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, August the 8th, 2023. Tuesday, August the 8th. Well, Daniel, Daniel, Daniel. Daniel decides he's going to go up to Tucker. Tucker's at the bar. Remember, Audra left. Um, or has he hadn't seen Audra. Audra hadn't come back to the bar yet. But anyway, Daniel goes over there and wants it. I want to know what's going on between you and my mother. What business dealings do you have? And then Tucker's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just interested in Phyllis, being treated fairly, as if I could believe anything that comes out of your mouth. And when he said that, I was like, I'm sorry. You came up to him. I'm going to come up to somebody and say, I want you to tell me. And then I'm going to follow it up with, as if I could believe anything that comes out of your mouth. Then I'm going to tell you, then, you know what? For one, kick rocks, because you came up to me. So obviously you want to believe something, right? So Tucker fills Daniel full of snow. Oh, Phyllis is so concerned about it, and he goes, it's a shame that you don't even trust or believe in your mother. And Daniel just looked at him. I'm just saying, stay away from my mother. Oh, get out of here. Tucker just looked at him like, whatever. So we have Abby goes to Jack. Uncle Jack, I'm just trying to broker peace. And no, it is not Tucker. This is all on my mom. But I think if you could sit down and you two could talk things out. Ding dong. Tracy tried that. Tracy did. If anybody was going to have more success, it's Tracy, Abby, not you. So she told him, you could come to the wedding, but you can't bring Diane. You expect me to leave my wife at home? She goes, for one thing, Uncle Jack, you know how mom feels about Diane. I can guarantee there will be a comment made by either one of them. And then the whole wedding is going to go off track. So no, this is my mother's day. Diane can't be there. And then she should look at Uncle Jack and say, Uncle Jack, did you have mom and Tucker at yours? Well, why didn't you? See? So no, Jack. And my whole thing is, Abby, who said Jack is invited? Last I knew, your mother said she didn't have a guest list. But if she did, she wasn't going to say put Jack on it. Abby is sticking her nose in only for heartache, because I already could tell you right now that is not going to end very well. So now we have Victoria and Nikki. Nikki is talking to Victoria and she's saying, Nate said he doesn't love you. And Victoria looked at her mother and Victoria was like, well, that's fine, mother, because I don't love him either. And I don't know if I'll ever love anyone ever again. And then Nikki looks, wait, darling, no. I mean, don't give up on love. Nate is just not the right guy, but you will find love. And she says, Mom, I'm more productive when I'm not in love. I can focus on work. I can focus on the kids. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. The two young ones, what the 10-year-old, if Katie is 10, and the 14-year-old that are off to boarding school that you're going to see at Christmas time for a couple of weeks. Then you're going to ship them off. She had the nerve to say the kids are doing great. They are in such a solid place right now. How do you know? Your 9/10-year-old daughter is shipped to boarding school. How do you know she's in a good place? Who is molding her young mind at this facility? That's what I want to know, right? How do you know what mischief Johnny is into? You don't, because they're not with you. And Nikki had the nerve to say, "You are such a great mother." Really? Are you really? Is she really? When has she ever really mothered them? She was more stuck to glue with them back when Chelsea wanted Johnny to know she was his biological mother. That Victoria was never pretty much away from them kids. So anyway, Nikki's like, just starting, please, just don't close your heart out. Someone will be for you. And I thought, not amongst the four recyclable men they recycle on in the Young Restless. No, nobody's for her. Right now, Nate's the only one for her until he's going to be for with Audra or whoever else, because it's always a recycle, right? There's no one new in town that Victoria could glom onto. No one. So that was just boring. I was like, oh, shut up, Nikki. Leave her alone. So now we have Audra. Oh, she's in mid panic. She texts Nate. She needs to see him. She needs his help. And he's like, for what? She goes, I need to know that I could trust you with no matter what I say and you're going to help me. He says, I can't make that kind of promise, Audra, unless I know what I'm walking into. Right? And I thought, yeah, that's unfair of her to ask. So she goes, well, I can't, unless I know I can trust that you're going to only keep this between us, I can't tell you. So he goes, well, then let me guess. It has something to, you said it has something to do with Newman Media. Mm-hmm. Okay, then the biggest threat to Newman Media is Adam Newman, because and I'm thinking, I sat there and had them let Nate piece together something he knew nothing about. So when he got close enough, she did break down and talk about there was an artist and yada, yada, yada. And Nate said, you mean statutory rape? And you all covered that up? Well, this and Nate goes, well, either way, bottom line, that was a cover up. He says, ooh, now, Audra, you might be unemployable for a while, just a little while. But with your talents, you'll get another job. And she looks, she goes, no, you've got to help me, Nate. I cannot afford to be unemployable. The only solution is to allow Adam to absorb Newman Media into his company. And he goes, why would that be the solution? To save her, right? Who is she? Really? They had some chance meetings and Nate hired her really to spite Lillian Devon. That's why he did that. So now she's talking about, she used your influence with Victoria. Get her to sign off on the merger. He goes, Victoria hates her brother. She's not going to want to sign off on that merger. You work on Victoria, I'll work on Victor. When did Audra Childs have any kind of persuasion powers over Victor Newman? She has none. None. Zero. Nada. Victor doesn't even really trust her. He's only leaving her in place because Nate wants her in place. Right? I'll get him to realize it is a good idea. But you promised me you're going to work on Victoria. So Nate goes back to the office. Nikki and Victoria are finishing up their conversation, and he's like, am I interrupting, ladies? Nikki looks at Victoria, looks at him, gets her stuff, and goes, thanks, Mom. Thanks for the talk. So she goes, I'll see you later, darling. And she walks right by Nate and doesn't even say Nate. She just, And so Victoria said, did you put out your fires for Newman Media? Because he told her something he had to handle with Newman Media. And I forget what he said, but he's like, yeah, there's a situation. He didn't say situation, but I don't remember the words he used. And Victoria's like, okay, so what's going on? And he just looks at Victoria. And I'm thinking, is he going to really tell her? Is he really going to even try to plead Audra's case? Is he going to try to convince her? Because see, what Nate doesn't understand is he doesn't have that much power of persuasion over Victoria. She only let him think she values his opinion, right? So, needless to say, we're going to see how that turns out. So then Audra goes downstairs to the bar, and Tucker's at the bar. Daniel had left, and she's got this defeated look on her face, like, oh, she is really scared. Because see, her days can be numbered. And now we have Kyle who could inherit her CEO. Well, they wouldn't give CEO of Newman Media to Kyle. They really wouldn't. It would just be absorbed under their whole umbrella with their structure, right? So Tucker said, oh, by the way, I'm sorry for what I said earlier. I was harsh. I was just upset, but none of this is your fault. So the whole situation has been handled, right? She goes, no, I'm working on it. Hasn't been handled. Everything's like still up in the air. And Tucker's like, well, that's not what I was hoping to hear. And she just looks at him, right? And I thought, oh, poor Tucker, more bad news, more bad news. You better run home and tell Ashley. So Ashley don't hear about it from Adam. Yikes. Yikes, Tucker. So now, even though you know Tucker is my man, I love he brings comedic relief to the show. He truly, truly does. But I don't mind Tucker getting a little bit of the business. I don't. I'm okay with it, right? So now we have, wait, that was yesterday's. I uploaded the wrong one, everybody. Shoot, doggone it. Let's see if I could quickly, while I'm talking, let's go back to Tucker and Audra. So anyway, now he's going to have to really understand that he is in a hot seat. And that, oh, here it is, right here. This is the one I want. And that hot seat is going to lead him in trouble. This was good. Summer goes, Mom, you got to tell me the truth. 100% the truth, Mom. And I thought, don't do it, Phyllis. Just keep up with what you got, right? She tells him the whole thing because she caught Tucker leaving the room. What do you and Tucker McCall have in common? Something's going on. Bottom line, Phyllis already said Tucker's the one that found Carson. Leave it at that. Phyllis says, well, she needed to get out from under Tucker's thumb. So now she went to Adam, and Adam found some information to help her neutralize Tucker. But now Carson, she's got to be the one that manages Carson. And Summer's looking like, wait, what is happening? She's like, my head is spinning. Wait. You jump from one fire, Jeremy Stark, into another fire with Tucker McCall, and now into a fire with Adam Newman. She says, what happens now when Adam wants to hold something over you? And Phyllis is like, I've got everything under control. It's not good. You know, oh, then Summer loses it. You don't have anything under control. You make horrible decisions. You this, you that, and you never, ever changed. I keep saying she's changed. She deserves another chance. But really, you love this chaos. You do. You love it. Even though you completely trashed my life. And now I'm sitting here listening to you. This has all been for nothing. For nothing. Because nobody's more important to you than yourself. And Phyllis is like, but Summer, what's up? She goes, you know what? No, I'm just done, Mom. I'm done. Because I'm still in a situation that I got to fight myself out of because of you. I can't handle anything else. And I'm thinking, well, that's what you get when you sit down and you say, tell me everything and don't leave nothing out. Baby girl, you can't handle it. You can't hold it. You can't help yourself. So then we have Phyllis picking up the phone, and she makes a phone call. Said, I need to see you. And I'm thinking, who's she calling? And now we have Summer going downstairs. Daniel's in the jazz lounge drinking. Summer comes down and she's just like, our mother, I just can't. She goes from one thing to the other. She hasn't changed. And they're talking about her just like they did before she faked her death. See, when she was dead, it was mom, mom, oh, I wish my mama was here. Oh, my mom, my mom. Now they're both talking about her the way they were then. They knew who Phyllis was and what she's all about. Daniel has always known. I'm just surprised he's so busy trying to get her busted out at every turn. And that's her son. Oh my God, right? You may not like what your parent does, but you don't actively go around and trying to stir up trouble for them. That's Daniel. Yikes. Gee. So anyway, Summer's like, you know what, Daniel, I'm through. I can't put my life in any more jeopardy. And so Daniel says, well, it's time for her to take responsibility for her own actions. And Summer says, as much as I hate to agree with you, Daniel, I think you're right. And they both looked at each other because Daniel says, look, if it's got to be either one of you going to jail, it should be her, not you. So they're talking, not knowing the actual call Phyllis made was to Heather and Christine. So they meet at, I think it was Kelly's, not Kelly's, goodness gracious, that's General Hospital, the coffee house. I think that's where they are, or they're at a table at society. It doesn't matter where they are. They're sitting down in public with this conversation versus going to the DA's office. But okay. So Phyllis says, wait, Heather's looking like, hey, Phyllis, what's this about? Phyllis looks at Christine and says, I'm ready to take responsibility. Heather looks at Phyllis. Oh, excuse me, Christine. I am so sorry we wasted your time because I got to go and speak to my client. So sorry, Christine. She's like, Phyllis, and Phyllis like, no. I will do, and she's looking at Christine. I will do anything to protect my daughter, anything. So I will accept your deal. And Christine looks at her. Oh, finally. But see, here's the deal. Phyllis should say, because you are blackmailing me with my daughter. See, you are using my daughter to coerce me to take this deal. And you know what? I'll take it. Because you are making me seem like I have no choice. You have me beat, Christine. And then Heather would be looking at Christine, because that's what Heather accused Christine of, said, I'm going to go to the judge because that's unethical. You doing all this to my client without a lawyer present, right? So no conversation was had. I really believe they left us there thinking that that's how that's going to end. But I don't know. I think it just might end another way. I really do, everybody. I don't know that they all gonna get up, and I don't know that Christine's gonna say, "Turn your come on, let me get a cop over here now to arrest you." I just don't see it going down that way. But see, Daniel and Summer don't know that Phyllis is trying to take responsibility, because what Summer said to her really just hit her soul, hurt her heart, you know. So anyway, everybody, let's go to comment corner. Sherry says Phyllis will walk. Sabrina says, hey, Daily Recap lady, great review. I cannot wait until Nate and Audrey get theirs. Phyllis needs to disown her son. He's a traitor to his mother. And then LaShunta says, all Nate and Vicky do is stay in bed. He cannot ask her to marry him like Audrey said. Tucker gave her the business. Audra's so smug. Good. She's scared. She surely is scared, isn't she? Um, Good. Audra's in the hot seat. Tucker sold the company to Victor. I like Tucker getting, you must mean his, because you said hers, but Tucker getting his. Daniel made me sick, makes me sick. Um, the reason he's the reason this all came out. It is true. He broke Summer's confidence. I think Phyllis needs some grace. Heather gave Chris the business. She really changed. Michael and Heather both said she used to be about the law. Yeah, but where Phyllis was concerned, she was always about wanting to get revenge on Phyllis. It's like darn the law, right? And Hogan said, don't you think that Sharon, that when Sharon sat down with Phyllis at Society Restaurant, Sharon seemed to be on drugs or drunk. Something was wrong. The whole way she is, and Phil, I mean, I was like, wait, what kind of conversation? What is this? Even the whole demeanor with her talking. I mean, there was something not right. I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know. I didn't. That almost you couldn't have told me that that was Sharon's actress doing that. I don't know. I'm telling you, trying to get used to either new dentures, or new false new what do you call those little plate deals, veneers, the injections. Something had her really trying to. I don't know. No, gee, goodness. So anyway, everybody, that's it. That's it for the daily recap of the Young and the Restless. Let's see what happens tomorrow. What's Christine gonna do? What is Heather gonna do? Unfortunately, what is Daniel and Summer going to do? Yikes. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have something else to talk about.